Welcome to our first episode of whatever sports we're going to talk about today. I'm
Mostly college football.
mostly college football for today's subject, being that this is January 10th and we're in the heat of the end of college football and everything else. But I'm Coach G or Coach Gray, and my co-host is
Glove.
the glove.
We'll work on the intro.
Work. Oh yeah.
Uh, but hey, we're just two guys that typically talk about this stuff and thought we'd hit record, right? I mean, we've watched a lot of this stuff. We've been sports fans and been in the business for a really long time now. And you've got what, 15 years in you, 20 years in you, as far as like being a part of organized sports.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just, and you as well, just working on the back ends of college athletics and having your foot in the door of and being a part of some big moments too, whether you're
Yeah.
on the field or working, like you were there for some huge moments just in the world of sports and history. So I think we got lots of cool things to share, but also legit opinions that we could see maybe coming and that could be helpful, but also how do we make sense of all our everything we absorbed in these last few weeks of,
I
let's
mean,
say,
dude, you see the hat I'm wearing,
college.
right? Like my
I
LSU
know you
Tigers
got.
have quite the I would say 2 months here. Um,
I mean, I'm wearing this just for the
with
sake
all the
of
moves.
I'm wearing this for basketball.
Yeah.
Football, it's been, I mean, we had a great season in
Transfer
basketball,
you, man.
but yeah, that's not the norm, but also that makes sense. You know, we built such a great program at Iowa State. The coach leaves, everybody leaves. But now they're hitting a bunch of people in the portal too.
How
So
how long was Matt Campbell at Iowa State?
like 10 years. So he built, and then he broke every record that's every Iowa State's coach had, like of winning and
And the
percentages and all that.
the Brock Purdy season was the best one.
Brock Purdy winning the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the year we beat Oregon, which was against like Schoen or whatever, the who went on, he's a quarterback of the Saints.
Oh, Shao. Shuck.
Shao,
Shuck. Tyler
Shao.
Shuck. Tyler Shuck.
Tyler
Tyler Shuck.
Shuck.
It
That's
looks
what
like
it,
Shao, but Tyler Shuck.
yes. And he was at Texas Tech and then went to Oregon. And
And they
then,
went to Louisville.
yeah, he was all over.
Yeah.
But yep. So that was the year. And that was the year as an Iowa State fan. And this is, I mean, you're like, there's a few state fans I say you're not a real state fan because you're the only big school in your state, where
Right.
all the other ones where we have to play like second fiddle.
Right.
Um, in the world of being a true state fan, because we're always getting kicked in the nuts when we're not looking, or we're always ready for it.
Mm. The eventual kick in the nuts.
Yes. Now your situation is you're stuck paying millions of dollars to coaches that aren't coaching for the next several years.
Yeah, but word on the street is we've been kicking some nuts too.
That's right. Well, speaking of that, let's talk about like one of our things is portal moves
Yeah.
and these coaches. So we're kind of already jumping around talking about these things. So Glove, what's talking about portal moves? What like was a big move, but also the other things we want to talk about being nice and positive spins on this, since sports can be a lot of negatives. We'll be trying to be positive talking heads.
Yeah, it's funny. I was looking at the, obviously we're all watching it, see what transfer portal guys were signing this week and having on visits, and there's plenty of rumors going around of who's going where. Uh, do you know Indiana is one of the best transfer classes, depending on which site you're looking at,
Is it like
again
is
for
this
next year?
for next year? Not even like they got all the
For
JMU
next year,
guys, but
yeah.
he's got it figured out where he's just doing what basically Belichick did to the Patriots. I'm getting all the veterans. So he's just getting all the 21,
Mhm.
22, 23 year olds on his team.
I do wonder what the post JMU/Mendoza era looks like in Indiana. I saw
Yeah.
they brought in Josh Hoover from TCU, which Hoover showed some promise, but he also, I mean, there were a couple games like especially the Arizona State one is the one that sticks out where he had some pretty bad picks, and that was a game they probably should have won this season. And
Yeah.
TCU
Yeah. I
season
can see
kind
that.
of went off the rails after that. Um, I was surprised to see him garner so much attention and end up at Indiana.
They just did the All-Star. So like today being January 2nd or 10th, they did the All-Star game for the high school, like the Army, Navy,
Mhm.
I don't know who's officially the sponsor of it. And like
Who
it's
watches that anymore?
I did for like 5 seconds because I was like, hey, it's
I
Saturday. It's
used to
on.
watch it back,
It's on
when that was when you found
NBC.
out it was signed.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
That was the day. That was
that
the
was
day.
the day.
But speaking of Indiana, there was two guys that literally put on Indiana hats. And so like thinking of
Yeah,
my whole childhood, I'm almost in my 40s. No way did I ever see somebody ever put on an Indiana hat at a
at
basketball
those games.
unless it's
No,
basketball. But like, yeah,
right.
it's not for a football to be a signee like that. That just the
It's a new day,
programming has
man.
changed. Yep,
I
the
mean,
portal's changed. It's a billionaires game, which is
it's
yeah.
it's feast or famine, and you know about the latter as an Iowa State guy. I mean, how are you feeling about losing most of your team to your former coach?
I think secretly we're all going to be Iowa State fans is who we are, being that we're not in the same conference. Unless weird way we meet in the bowl game, we're all going to be secretly rooting for Penn State because pretty much that's the whole Iowa State team that went over there. Just kind of like what probably a lot of James Madison's fans did right now with Indiana. They're still rooting for their guys. So I think that's what it's the weird world of college athletics. But like to have a mass exodus and a mass amount of players, just like who Oklahoma State's getting like all the North Texas guys. So seeing that, I think it's gonna be unfortunately more and more common. It's just until we change the rules of the transfer portal, but also like so there's a little bit of mixed bag on that.
Yeah, I know there's this big call for like changing the rules. I feel like there's so much to set in place,
Yes.
and there's always so much I don't want to say legislation because I think a lot of people assume I mean like government intervention, which I think there's some of that that's going to happen too. Uh but man, like it's hard to tell people to take less money.
That's the other thing. So
So
as we talk about, here we go, that transfer portal, and we're out here in Washington, man. So we're
right.
experiencing that. So
Well, so yeah, I'm an LSU guy here in Washington's backyard, and I was public enemy number one on the streets of Seattle for 3 days because DeMar
yeah.
was leaving to go to LSU. Uh,
So tell me about that. Like, what was your thought process thinking of it? But then also here I am thinking, all right, this guy's like, I don't know, 19, 20 years old. That's a
well,
lot of money being thrown. And then all of a sudden you're here, you could get another million if
it's
you just
funny.
quit and let's go somewhere else. Like, it's a lot to be. So I don't want to come down on this guy. To think of put yourself when you're 18, 19 years old and said, hey, you got 4 or 5 million all of a sudden dangling in front of you, and nothing's guaranteed in the NFL.
Right. And
This is your chance at the lottery ticket right now.
100%. I think he realized quickly that if he did breach his contract that he signed just 4 days prior of announcing he wanted to enter the transfer portal, he found out he was going to be net negative from what he would have done if he just stayed. So
Yeah.
I think in that case, it's very easy to, and this is what ended up happening. It's easy to go back and just say, hey, like I'm a dumb kid.
And that's why it
I got
has to
some bad
be
advice I got in my own
yes.
head.
And that's where this needs to still how
Forgive me,
we
whatever I
need to
need to
live.
do.
Yes, we need to live in the world of it's not semi-pro yet. They are still college. They're still forced to be technically students. Until we remove the word students and they're just there as athletes, then we get to clearly say it's
I don't even care
semi-pro.
about the whole student thing anymore
Nobody
at
cares
this
about
point.
that.
But
Anyone's
what I
when's the
would
last time
say
they talk about their
is,
GPA, Matt? When they
right.
talk about that glove, let's talk about that, dude. When do they say who's doing a fine arts degree and it's got a 3.9 GPA?
Well, I've always said I really think the next negotiation tactic for players is going to be getting the money to go to school, basically getting like you still get your scholarship, quote unquote, but you don't do it while you're playing.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. So why if now it's not everybody, right? And it's only really going to be the few, just like we are with like these NFL guys. We only hear of the few handfuls. We assume everyone else is getting paid, which
Mm-hmm.
is which is not the case. But for the, let's say, 50 to 100 household college athletes that are getting paid more money than they could ever imagine,
Well,
there's some,
you have to chase the bag, right?
right? But there's some
Because
guys who are technically taking a pay cut going to the NFL. as of right now. So that's where the NFL needs to catch up, which is makes me feel like a little
I
bit
mean,
of
that's
the
that's the Trinidad Chambliss thing, right? Like he
yeah.
just got denied the was it going to be a seventh year,
He's trying to sixth.
sixth year?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell with these COVID years, man. I know some guys
It
are gonna be
he's
seven.
that's where we're on the world of who's got the limbo
I
of
think we're
COVID.
finally like finishing up the COVID year, thankfully.
This is supposed to be the last season,
So
technically.
that'll help. But like I think of Chambliss, like I don't know if he's going to be a good pro.
Yeah. There's no guarantee, right?
I know he would make whatever. I guess $5 million is kind of going rate here, so I'll just throw out $5 million. I know he'd make probably $5 million at Ole Miss this upcoming season.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I think that's the thing of why if hey, whatever he can do to make sure he gets to stay another year. And also I think that's what's going to hopefully make college football great and relevant and like not all the talent guys leave after 1 or 2 years because we
Mm-hmm.
made it easier for them to get to the NFL sooner if needed because we were holding back a couple of guys. Now because there is money, why leave? So we'll think of this. Now we talked about guys moving in the portal. So overall, who's like your big portal move that you're like, that was an awesome move by the school or a good move by the player?
I thought Michigan retaining Underwood. Not that I really thought he was actually going to leave, but going through kind of how tumultuous it was after the Sharon Moore thing, to land on their feet with a hire like Whittingham, which we'll talk more about,
Yeah.
I'm sure, and other coaching moves. But I thought that was a pretty big one because he's obviously all like he's what they're building around at Michigan. Uh,
I mean, yeah, you get to have 4 years of a quarterback as long as you get to keep him, right?
I mean, it's hard not to talk about Texas Tech, man, and what they're doing in the transfer portal and
Yeah.
the resources that they're throwing around right now. It's pretty impressive. I know if you've never been to Texas or haven't been recently, like all they do is build, right? Like being like a concrete person, I feel like in Texas is probably the best job in the world because they're always
Oh,
concreting up something.
just giant slabs of concrete, and they
Right.
just want the slabs bigger and bigger so they can make a bigger facility for so they get to say the biggest whatever.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, there might not be much to do it over in Lubbock, Texas, but when it comes to what they have to offer as far as the facilities go and the experience on campus, um, and you're getting paid $5 million to play there,
Yeah.
I mean, not too bad.
I mean, they're cleaning up.
I was a little surprised that he went with Texas Tech and not LSU after what they showed in the playoff game because I thought some of it was the scheme that was the issue as well. It wasn't just the quarterback struggled against Oregon. I thought it was a lot of things. I don't I
Think
don't know
about
what Swansby saw at Texas Tech other than
I don't
money.
know the backstory. That could be more of like who coaches he might have known or other sort of things that felt
Apparently his girlfriend's on the volleyball team. It's
that
the other thing I
helps.
saw, which always helps.
That
The
always
girls always, yeah,
at that age of the college, yeah, that sure
you
helps.
know,
I'd say that.
that's the big one for me. And then I mean, if I want to give a homer pick here, but LSU doesn't have a quarterback yet,
Yeah.
and as of today, they started getting some offensive linemen, but overall, like they probably still need 5, 6 guys.
And that's what's crazy. It's if you look at what's happening, and we'll dive into the college football playoffs here, but like everybody we look at is pretty
I mean,
much
LSU
they're
needs like
all
two
they're all
quarterbacks,
all quarterbacks are transfers. Like that's what
right?
everybody's getting a quarterback from somewhere else to change their elevate their 9 and 10 win team, right? To get over the hump.
So you were coaching high school not too long ago.
Yeah.
Is the trend of high school recruiting kind of becoming like a FCS thing, and the FBS or the group of five? Well, I really the group of five, I guess, would be guys that would come out of high school, but the power five really just becomes transfers, and everyone's 20 plus
Yeah,
years
so
old.
that's where I don't see it as of yet. We're not seeing it physically at the moment, but that's where it's gonna go, in my opinion. I totally agree with you, Glover, on that. It's gonna be where if you're a high school recruit, so like that all-star, all-American game, that's going to become really rare to see these guys say they're going to go to the team that's playing for the national championship or is one of the big Power Fours. Because if I'm a big Power Four school, why am I taking a chance on paying millions of dollars to the high school versus the guy who crushed it at Tulane,
Well,
right?
just wait until these guys are making NIL in high school,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is already, I think, happening in some states.
I don't know much about that kid who does the baby Gronk, but like he could be the biggest bust of all time, but he's gonna make this money
It's
before he
making
even
some,
gets to
yeah.
it. So like good on him. He like, hey, if I was 12, I would have crushed it on YouTube. I could kick it 50 some yards and did some stuff like I would have had some cool viral videos probably. And like
Right.
yeah, so like Dude Perfect and Jackass,
You got
like
a leg?
I used to have a leg. I used to have a leg.
All right.
But
We might have to
better coach than kicker now.
line it up, see if got some potential.
I'd want to do like a
I've seen some playoff teams
PhD.
that could have used a kicker in crunch time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing like when a kicker lines up from anywhere on the field.
This season's been like the biggest mixing bag of like
Even Ole
kicking.
Miss, I mean, their guy was automatic.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You have these guys that are like, hey, amazing season, and then the playoffs roll around and they're like missing kicks left and right. And then even the pros right now are missing games. So it's I got a whole thing about that too, about the world of kicking. But
Okay.
let's switch gears into bowl games and like just give me a highlight or like your favorite bowl game. I'm just going to share my screen here and we're just going to look at some of these
Too.
bowl games.
So I could tell you teams. I could give you kind of bowl names.
So like
Um,
Washington started off with the LA Bowl and blowing out
well,
Boise.
I'd say this. I want to start by saying this: bowls are not dead
No, they're
because
not. They should be.
people look at the stands for bowl games and they think, man, bowl games are dying. No one's there. Got y'all.
There were some good games.
Bowls make their money off of TV.
And
It's the
that's what's
TV
happening. So
contract.
the thing is, we just need to make these bowl games more relevant, or they're playing for something, or we see like where they're seated, kind of almost kind of like how March Madness is. We just need that version, and it's just kind of like these are all the consolation games, but they're really like a legit good bowl game. Should be celebrated because being a former or being a growing up an Iowa State fan, we won 6 games back in the 90s. We were fired up. We got to go to a bowl game. Now it's like here we are, we win 6 games. Schools are turning it down. Iowa State, obviously, we wouldn't even have a coaching staff and a team there for the bowl game, which is why they had to turn it down. But man, there's great games out there.
I
I
mean,
mean,
dude,
Mark,
LSU played with basically backups and put on a nice little game against Houston, who had no opt outs. But hey, give Houston credit.
hmm
Um, no, I personally loved. I love the bowl games. I appreciate the guys who play in it. Frankly, um,
Pop Tarts Bowl, man, that was probably my favorite.
Pop Tart. You got to give Pop Tart as a sponsor credit. They've just taken that thing and made it their own,
Yeah.
and I respect it a ton. The one that really got me going was the Hawaii Cow game.
Yes, that was a
Cow
good game.
Cow really had it going for quite some time, and then Hawaii makes the run at the end, and the fact they're in Honolulu and the fans are going nuts in Honolulu, baby.
And then a nice little fight breaks out after,
I mean,
which
that's
means
hard.
like how that's going on in a bowl game, and we don't get that very often. And if you're
Right.
getting that, it's going to be not going on in Hawaii. So
Look, anyone who's ever played sports, you always want to wear the jersey one more time, man.
yeah, and I don't.
Don't take that from these kids.
And the thing is to be positive about it. Like it was an amazing like they had a huge lead. They kind of blew the lead, and that's I get it. They are pissed about the moment, but they took advantage of what they had for every opportunity. And the Cal quarterback's like legit pro guy.
I did want to ask though, was there any team where you actually took a takeaway for next season, or do you really compartmentalize? Like, I
Mm,
like
yeah, that's hard.
I'm asking this before you say anything. I'm asking this because I've been seeing a lot of SEC hate about the bowl game record. And I don't think it tells a story at all for anything. I don't think it tells anything about the season or the future.
Well, combination of this is the other thing. Um, is everybody showing up with their full roster that they had on day one going into those bowl games or playoff games? Probably not. They're going in with their coaching staff, probably not. So there's all these things, but everyone's dealing with that. But I think the SEC guys are probably the biggest impact players that all of a sudden now you're going from your dude has been slinging it for 10 games or running people over is now gone and you're playing somebody you've just had practice for like a week in the middle of nowhere, Florida or something like that, right? So long story short, it's going to change. It's just got to change for the better, and the better is going to be everybody's everybody's with their team until this whole thing's done. Once that
I
happens, you got to have
wish
a true representation of then what school and the who did what. And so, like to me, I think that's all jaded.
I don't think you need as much to change. I really just think you do like a prize payout for the players who play.
Yeah. Yep. There should be an incentive to play in the bowl game now, right? And
Well,
the
you just
incentive
have
is more money.
you just have a bank, a championship pool.
Why isn't there? Yeah. Why isn't there one? There's a bonus if you win the game,
Correct.
and the bonus
Both
goes to
teams make something for
yep, and the
playing.
bonus goes to the players.
Right.
The other
Because the players that are typically playing, especially for the bigger programs, are going to be
correct.
backups, walk-ons, the guys you'd want to make some extra cash before, because that's the biggest thing, right? Like
Yeah.
people say get rid of bowl games. Like, dude, you're going to strip away a game from anybody who wants to play in it.
Some of
Like,
these programs, it was their first
that's
bowl
not your
games
decision to
ever.
make. Right.
Kennesaw State, unfortunately, they didn't play great in their bowl game, but they had a phenomenal season, the craziest turnaround. Their
Right.
Coach Mack, did amazing this season. So, like, there's programs like that. That's millions of dollars that they're usually never getting. So they
Mm-hmm.
need these bowl games. So
And
I'm all
and
for
look,
it. I'm
sure,
all.
you have some programs that should kind of put on stinkers, but I mean, you have programs in the playoffs put on stinkers.
I think the more these bowl games can lead into a few more silly mascots or doing a silly gimmick with the dumping mayonnaise
Yeah.
or French fries, even in like Idaho. Like,
Dragon Cheetos.
yep, the more they do that, the more I think that's going to help with this whole thing as much as so to me, it's now I'm talking to all the food sponsors and drink sponsors because we always keep talking about Gatorade, but why isn't somebody else some sort of liquid
You
sponsor?
know, I was thinking about the
Somebody,
toast. I was thinking about the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl at some point today. How perfect was that?
yeah, they've been rock solid for so long.
Well, it's not Tostitos anymore. It's
The
it's like
PlayStation or whatever.
it's VRBO now.
Oh yeah,
Or Verbo, whatever. Was it VRBO or Verbo?
whatever Saban's because he was just part of the commercials.
Yeah, whatever.
The house stuff, I think.
Who
All
cares?
right. Well, let's talk for 2 seconds a little bit about the playoffs.
Yep.
And then and then I have a little game for us before we wrap
Oh
this thing
boy.
up. But just to give you like an idea. So like my thing is looking at it. Yeah, you got Oregon crushes Texas Tech. Like, is Texas Tech really that bad? Is it the buy? Is it like what's the issue?
I got a couple hot takes
Because
about the
Indiana finally
playoff.
won. I mean, we really went 5-0 before we finally got somebody to win that's the higher seed.
I don't know how long this thing can last with the bowl games intertwined into this because Oregon in particular had to fly to Miami,
Yep.
to Atlanta, and then they would have gone back to Miami again. The
Yes.
reason why you saw so many Indiana fans at that game yesterday, yes, partially it's because Indiana fans could drive 7.5 hours to get to Atlanta,
Absolutely.
but also Oregon has made the playoffs so many times. They've gone to these games. For
Correct.
fans, you'd have to, how much money would you have to spend just to fly back and forth, not even
Yeah,
including
and yeah,
hotel?
exactly. And you're picking and choosing. So you kind of have to pick, do I go to this? Do I go to this Peach Bowl that we're guaranteed? Or they
They
all
all
want
picked Miami.
exactly. I have a friend bought tickets to go to Miami, not to the game, but just at least a flight.
Look,
Already
good for Indiana fans for taking advantage and
exactly.
showing out, and they deserve everything they get this year and enjoy the ride. But
Exactly.
I did think Oregon got an unfair shake when it came to
So
that.
you're saying like that bowl game should have been played more at the Fiesta Bowl? 'Cause-
Correct.
So Ole Miss Miami in the Peach Bowl, which would have got the both fan bases there
Could have been there.
easily.
Right.
Obviously, been more of a stretch for the Indiana fans, but
But the Big Ten's had historically a relationship with the Fiesta Bowl.
yes, absolutely.
A lot of Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl.
And nothing wrong with and to as an if I'm an Indiana Hoosier fan, now you're saying I get to go to Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, and then get to go to the Orange Bowl. I'd rather be
It's
like,
a good
let me
day.
that sounds better trilogy on my fingers
Look, Indiana's smart
than no
too.
knock on Peach, but I'd rather have a Fiesta than a Peach.
I disagree. I think both are great. I would say this though: Indiana being strategically located right in the middle of the U.S. certainly helps when it comes to this.
Yeah,
Which
so then
leads me
there's
to
Mhm.
I don't have an answer for this because I know the bowl games are very intertwined with CFP and the scheduling and everything. I I don't know how you can keep these games away from campuses.
Right. So that's where I think they needed really to look at what division FCS, Division Two, Division Three. Just copy what they're doing, and then the bowl games is like when we get to this moment because
But again,
I want the
dude,
Sugar Bowl, the
it's
Cotton
hard
Bowl,
taking money out of people's pockets, man.
or the
And
national
the bowl
championship.
games are collecting.
What about the national championship being always the Rose Bowl, or always, or does it have to be a rotation?
I'm into it. I think first we should go to 16. The fact that you earn a bye week and you miss out on the revenue that you gain from having a home game, which
Yep.
is actually a net negative from a financial perspective, is crazy. I think you go to 16. Um,
They get to host maybe two home
well,
games.
you do a few things, right? Like, one, no one's going to argue over the 17th ranked team because they probably have four losses. Two, you even out the economic part of it for everybody. And three, then you can just seed people the way they need to be seeded. Just seed them straight up based off their ranking, one
Yep,
through
that's what it really
16.
is. Whoever's 1 through 16, that's how you are. I don't care
Yeah,
what conference, wherever you came. Now we're gonna argue about the G5 and all those fun guys too. But I think that'll be another debate in another time.
sure.
All right, let's
It's easy
do.
to go down rabbit holes with
Oh
this
yeah.
for sure because there's so
So
many hypotheticals.
let's talk. Let's make our predictions on Indiana and Miami, and then I want to get into our quick game before we call it. So, who you got winning? First of all, is it Indy?
It'd be stupid to say not Indiana,
Right.
right?
That's
Um,
the smart money is
but
Indiana.
I'd love to say this before fully committing that in the back of my mind, I foresee the next 9 days leading up to the championship game to be all about how great Indiana is. And they'll mention, Miami's line of scrimmage. But if somehow, because this thing's in Miami, it's let's say, even a 50-50 crowd, and Miami can establish a run game and get to third and short and convert,
Yeah. Yeah.
man, if you see that happening and you're seeing Miami bust 5 yards here, 5 yards there, 5 yards here, and the offensive line's getting the same kind of push you saw in the Ole Miss game. Uh, I mean, look, we've seen Indiana play in tough games that went down to the wire. They came out on top for those, but man, if you can get in a situation where it's us or them and it's 2 minutes left and it's a one-score game, like, that's, if you're Miami, I mean, at this point, the way Indiana's been thumping people, that's really all you can ask for.
Yeah. The way they played Texas, the way Miami played Texas A&M,
Mhm.
Obviously, it was I think elements of the game with the wind and all that affected that one, but and
I mean,
kept
Cristobal's got his fingerprints all over this team, right?
he's an O lineman, right? So he wants to keep the thing going slow, control the game. That's how you want to do it. Keep the ball out of, that's what everyone's trying to do. Keep the ball out of Indiana's offense. Now the problem is Indiana's offense didn't have to touch the ball and they scored a bunch,
Well,
right?
they're so efficient. They're Stanford efficient, like the old Stanford teams,
Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
Stanford efficient, but they're a modern offense.
All right. So who are you gonna pick? Indiana or Miami?
I'm picking Indiana, but
Okay.
I just want to put out there that there is a path through for Miami, and I see it, and it's clear, and it can definitely happen.
So you okay, Indiana's who you pick,
I'm
but
picking Indiana, but I'm just saying like
Miami's not a long
don't be
shot.
surprised. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not as big of an upset as it may look with the seeding or whatever the spread is. I don't even know what the spread is. I'll be honest, but I could see this Miami team making it real interesting.
They're at home.
Yeah,
Not too many
I don't
games
know
are
if that
being
matters
home.
for them. Have they ever felt a real home game?
I kind of since they moved in there, it never felt like a home game since growing up watching them and their other
Fort
stadiums.
Lauderdale is not close to Gables.
No, no. So
What do you
I
think?
I think Indiana's gonna win. That's the head says Indiana, but like it's the U, they're at home. They get some juice going or they keep it going. I don't know. I think hopefully they keep the crowd 50-50 in the stands. So we have a true, like, I think Indiana fans are going to try to buy every ticket humanly possible. But all the Miami people, they're back. They're at home. Like, that's why this game's ridiculously expensive game. So, Indiana, who's my head, but my heart really probably thinks Miami, if they play the way they could, they should win.
I would say the death wish in this game, and it's been a common theme in this playoff, is if there's a defensive touchdown, odds are that team's probably going to win.
Yep, I get that. Yep, special teams and defense. The thing is, people didn't realize Oregon had some handful of guys that were injured slash in the portal, and those were special teams and guys like that make
Backup, it
this.
was backup running backs, your
Yep,
typical special teams guys. Yeah,
it
100%.
affects the game, and that's field position.
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden you're making a play for first and 10, but you're on the 12
Yeah,
versus being on the 35.
a
Things
lot of
like
back. Yeah, they had a lot of running backs out. I saw.
right. So, all right, let's dive into last thing, this game I have here. So the game is
Oh my gosh,
glove.
let's
If you
go.
have an idea, it's got all the schools here. All we have to do is just grab them and put them up here.
Okay,
Okay. I'm going to do tier 1 through 5.
What are we tiering though?
This is in the mindset of European soccer. And we're going to
Oh,
tier these schools as if they're now
okay, okay,
Fortune Fortune
I got it,
500. They're
I got
Fortune
it.
500 companies. They're their own entities, but we're only thinking of them as a football school, not basketball, baseball, anything else, just football.
Great. Let's do it.
So
Let's
this
do it.
is who's Wrexham, who's Manchester United, but we're gonna do these with these universities. So you get 10, I get 10. We're gonna grab them, put them up in here, and that's how we're gonna end our thing is just who's our top 20. Now we probably only have a few minutes, so I don't even know if we'll get through this, Matt.
We'll
Or
try.
but I'll put Michigan up there. Who's somebody you'd want?
I'd put Alabama.
Okay. Tell me when you see
I wish it was alphabetical. That makes sense.
it would make sense. And I don't even feel like I see them all. And there's got to be Alabama. Where are
There it is to the right. To the right. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Right
you?
there.
There we go. All right. It's Michigan, Alabama. Uh,
Ohio State, Oregon,
yep. So I'm just gonna move some blocks up there.
Oklahoma, Texas.
I'm not leaving them in three, people, if you're watching.
I got to put Indiana in there.
So yes, the whole point is if we were kind of rating the top 20
uh-huh.
programs right now going into this. Yes,
Miami.
right. So this is where we're gonna get into
Yeah.
some things.
Um,
I mean, do you get like that's the thing, like Florida State historically, but you don't right now. So like that's where like this game can get fun. And this is
they
where
would have they would
Matt,
have
this is
been
where we're gonna
okay.
get to. We're gonna be here
Texas
and
Tech.
we're gonna stop when we get to a spot, and this thing is gonna be edited and changed several times if we want. Because what's gonna happen is we're gonna look at those tier two, tier three, tier
Indiana.
four.
What do you do with Ole Miss?
What do
I
you?
can't put them in, man.
I would put
I'm
Washington, or
biased for sure, but
I would put Nebraska.
I think no way I couldn't put Nebraska in there.
It's more of I'm just thinking of like if we're running like a Fortune 500 company, right? Big name programs,
A&M.
Notre Dame.
You got to put A&M in there.
Yeah. Where are they at?
Next to NIU, right in the middle. Your mouse is right, so close. Up to the right. Right.
There we
There.
go. Okay. And then it moved on me again.
It's right there. Top row in the middle.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
So we got one, two.
One, two, three, four, five. All right. So right now we have 11 schools.
Michigan, Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, Oklahoma, Miami, Texas Tech, A&M, Notre Dame, Indiana,
And these are right
and
now. If we were to
we're
say
we're going based off the
top 20
best 20
universities,
programs right now.
best football programs as like an entity right now.
Going into 2026.
We'll probably
There's no way. Okay, we won't talk about this.
okay. Let me just I'm moving some names up here so I don't have to
If
like,
Chambliss is going and they got a first year ever head coach, there's no way you can put him in the 20.
let me move some schools up here so that I'm not digging for them.
We need Georgia.
I hate Iowa, but we're gonna put them up
We
there.
got to put Iowa. We got to talk about them. No way.
Man, this guy, I was hoping Dan Mullen was my guess for Iowa State coach.
I think he's done with the big time stuff.
He might be. He might just, hey, people freaking love Vegas. Why not?
Purdue. Oh,
Not putting these guys at the bottom table. So whoever's watching, don't freak out.
you're just organizing.
I'm literally just moving some people up so everybody
Grab
can see
grab
it.
like
Right?
SC,
Yeah.
LSU,
There's
bottom.
Georgia. We talk about freaking Georgia.
Yeah, put this. Go ahead and put him up there.
Yeah.
Grab LSU's at the bottom.
So put them at the bottom of the totem pole.
I'd put them. I'd put them in. They won a
They-
national championship in 2019 within the last 10 years.
So they're at the bottom of the table.
No,
Well, I don't know if they in top
no,
20, I
I
don't know if
know
they'd be in
that's why you got to have the argument. I would, yeah,
they'd be tier two, if anything, right now at the
because
moment.
you'd put in Ole Miss because of what Lane did.
Okay. Yeah, you said like USC, BYU.
Clemson,
BYU's like reloading.
Clemson,
I'm gonna put BYU up there. Do you think like Tennessee?
Tennessee's interesting. They kind of hover around that top 20. Vanderbilt's interesting because, like, what's the post Diego Pavia life like? I can't put Nebraska in.
I'm just
I'd put Iowa in.
in top 20.
Yeah.
I know with the win at the over Vandy made it seem like
I'm not even worried about that so much as they are a top 20 program.
typically
That's where they kind of hang around.
they're always ranked.
I mean,
They're always ranked.
We got to put Penn State in here too.
I mean, I think like Washington could be,
Washington could I put
and
Washington in there because Washington's going to be with Demond back.
then you think Clemson,
Well, that's where you have to start making
because
decisions.
Clemson
Like
obviously didn't have a great year.
they didn't. Are we missing anyone blatant?
Here's one that's always good.
If
Utah.
they lost Whittingham,
I get that. I'm just putting them in where they're always good. I just want to put people relevant in our eyes because I get like Florida, Florida State, Mississippi State, who like
this is where the criteria though makes it tough
if
because
well here let's stop thinking 2026. Let's just think of this year, right?
yeah, okay.
If we just think of
Then
this year,
then you have to put Ole Miss in.
if they're a product of this year,
You'd have to put Ole Miss in.
where are they at right now? And then we get the thinking future product. It's probably a whole different gamble of what's going on
Well,
because
like, would you? So, I mean, I guess I don't want to make like a top 20 ranking here, or is that kind of what we're doing?
we're doing it, but here's my argument's sake is who's the brand? Think European mindset. We got to change our American mindset of this. This is European. These are who's your New York Yankees? Who's your so like all the European folks, people that don't watch maybe college sports. You got just our NFL fans. Because I got a friend I'll bring on this show. I'll be happy to because he's very naive to
I
college
mean,
sports, but he loves NFL.
well,
And
Premier League has such a drastic range of.
like USC. So all of a sudden, USC and Notre Dame, those schools are not going to maybe be playing much anymore because of the money and how it hurts people's playing those games, hurts them now to get in the playoffs, right?
I mean, if we're talking perennial top 20, scroll down. Is there anyone else that
I
we're
know, right?
missing?
Who are we missing here? And then like the other thing is we could be going in the world of historic. And then
I
my
mean, do you
other,
put SMU in
as of right
or
now,
Georgia Tech? Georgia Tech,
Georgia Tech had a great season.
they're right there at the bottom, middle.
Like that's a good one to Wisconsin's always like in Illinois, SMU's starting to become a thing.
All right, I think we got enough.
And then you got all these Sparty fans are freaking out. Duke, way to mess everything up this year in football. All right, so we got one, two, three, four,
So
five,
if
six,
we're going
seven.
based off this year, I mean, Penn State, we got to relegate them then.
We got room for three more schools.
I think we got to relegate Penn State,
So Penn State would get
get them
renegade.
out of there. Yeah.
I would think Washington would get renegated and USC would
I
get.
would keep Washington in.
You keep Washington in. Okay.
8-4, beat Boise State big. Really good trajectory going into the next season.
Then
I think
if I was
Washington's
thinking
in.
that, then I'd be more like Illinois looks good, but and Mississippi State looks good to me coming up next year. Like there's some
Is
schools.
this your way of making this like a pin, like a Big Ten podcast?
No, absolutely not. If anything, I mean, I'm always going to be Big 12 for the most part, but I'm like college in general. The whole thing is I want
So
to
here's how I think we should do it though. We should look at it from where they are like going into next year based off this past season.
what the product they put of 2025 going
Right.
in 2026. So it's like
Correct. So
if
like
I'm
there's
a
so that would give me like for Washington, I'll use them as an example, like returning quarterback, LOL, returning quarterback, doing well in the transfer portal, has recruited really well, like primed for a
who's got it.
floor 9-3 season next year.
Well, then do we put like Virginia Tech up there? They got to do something with Coach
I'm not
Franklin.
because they didn't do enough this season to be in it.
Did Virginia not do enough to be in it?
No.
Like Pitt, like some of these schools that are like on the verge of doing something. I mean, freaking Duke
All
won
right.
the
So I think you got to put Ole Miss in.
from what they did and what's gonna happen.
We don't know if Golding's going to work. I don't think he will, but based off what's happened and they are recruiting well, I think you have to put him in. I think you
Who,
got to. I think like.
I mean, do you pick Vandy over Tennessee? Because
I mean,
Vandy
SC had a decent season.
and they're getting quarterbacks coming back, right? I don't think
Mm-hmm.
they're really losing. I feel like I have not hearing much in the transfer portal of people leaving SC. They were young, and now they're playing.
Illinois is bringing back their quarterback.
Yes, if he's eligible or whatever, I think he's back. If he's got another year. But I believe with that coach and what they're doing and how they're winning, I think they got
I
it.
think you might slide Missouri in there.
Would you do would
I
you do?
wouldn't. No,
I'm just the only thing is they re-signed the coach.
I don't. I don't see them though as this year. I think they're a year away. I think they need to establish the quarterback position.
And all we're looking at for this is just tier one today. We're gonna get into more episodes. We're gonna keep breaking it down and we're gonna keep fine-tuning this.
I
And the
think
whole
you got to put Georgia Tech in there.
Georgia Tech's number 20.
God, it pains me not to put LSU in, but I
I was
mean,
gonna say I'm just gonna move all these guys down the bottom
they
so we
went 7-6. They fired their coach, and we don't know what next year will bring. Will bring. We don't have a quarterback or an offensive line, and from the transfer portal, no, they're doing a good job.
I mean, are these I'm gonna go back down here looking at some more schools
So the
here.
ones I would question of whether they deserve to go in it or not
And we're
would
only
be Virginia. I don't know anything about what they're doing for next year for Virginia because I know Chandler Morris didn't get his
you
seventh
didn't get it,
year.
yeah.
Um,
Louisville, are they
Louisville's
gonna
interesting.
because they're like could be a 9-10 win
They're kind
team.
of a fringe, yeah, right. They're kind of a what I like to call a high floor
They're a
team,
top 25, maybe not top 20, but they're a top
top
25.
30, additional votes kind of guy.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
think that's a good
I
start.
could live with this. Don't say this is our final,
We
but
can adjust.
this is our if
It's late.
we're wrapping up to top
It,
2025 football season going into
this is
2026.
my top 20.
This is our top 20 of for Nice Guy Sports or whatever we want to call our show. And this is our
Hey, I was very nice. I put Ole Miss in. I didn't put LSU in.
yes, you are very nice.
Matter of fact, I think like I'm the. It's almost as nice as letting a team use your offensive coordinator for the playoff run,
Oh my gosh, that's so nice.
and that's so nice. I think so too.
I'm looking at like, I mean, if we're looking by conferences, that's the other thing. The whole point is forget conferences. And
Oh yeah.
that's
So
the whole point of this whole thing is we need to we're going to eventually eliminate conferences. We're thinking European soccer. We're going to have tiers and we're going to have renegations. And that's how we're going to build these new rivalries.
I do want to talk conferences next time because I think people aren't seeing the forest through the trees
Oh, yeah.
when it comes to that narrative.
Well, I mean, just looking at the top few schools and universities, like these are just iconic. The whole point is these are iconic images, names. These are the New York Yankees
It's
of
not that the Big Ten got
universities.
better; it's that everyone got better. So like if we went back to like we're talking about the transfer portal, this is a
Yeah.
good topic for next time. But go look at how many players are transferring within the SEC every offseason the last 3 years. It's basically they're just we're just trading players back and forth in the SEC because people just go to the other big brand. Whereas the
And
other schools can kind of like there's not as many big brands. So there's only a handful that can really pluck guys. Your Ohio States, your Miami's, your right.
yep.
So I think that's kind of what you're seeing is the SEC is just passing players around while the Big Ten is actually like Big Ten. When I say Big Ten, I mean like Ohio State, really the big names in each conference, Texas Tech, Miami. They can just pluck guys as like the major pallbearer of their conference.
Yeah, they shake a tree and 3 stars fall at them like no
Right.
problem. It's
Right.
like the 4 and the 5s are the only ones that have to put a little bit of effort, which I think as we look in the future, we don't even talk about stars
So
anymore.
everything's come back. So everything's just very it's NFL. It's
Yep. And
closer.
that's the whole point is I'm trying to kind of have us be the first mindset. One will be a positive show. We'll talk about sports, try to be positive about teams and players and individuals. Maybe they made something silly, but like try to see it from their point of view, like get
A lot of
informed by
there's a lot of pessimism. A lot, blah, 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 blah. there's a lot of pessimism in this sport. We hope to bring a shining light to every fan base.
There we go. I like that. So we'll just keep on building our empire of schools, making it look more like a European model that eventually will become our quote, I like to say our semi-professional model, which will be more realistic to what the NCAA will look like once we figure this out. Because I think you hit it
I
on the head
mean,
earlier.
transfer fees.
If I'm getting paid $4 million, I'm going to figure out how to get a C in every class, and then I'll come back and get my degree after I go to the league. But
Or
that's
don't
only a
even, or
hint.
no, don't even go to class. Don't even have class. Like you're not
Yeah.
even enrolled to school. You're
Well,
just literally playing football there, and then you're enrolled after your career's done.
right? Because that's the thing. If you went to the university and you're guaranteed X amount of dollars and you get the end of the day,
Why wouldn't I use all my time to be the best football player I could be?
exactly. Exactly. Especially if I know I can only do this until I'm 30 years old. And that's
And it
best
makes
case
the school
scenario.
more money.
If you made, let's say, $3 million as a university student and then went on to the NFL and played for until you're 30,
Yeah.
now you made all this money, go back to school and get your degree.
And that'll be the next thing too when they're employees. Like there's not gonna be unless they have like a school requirement.
Yeah. And we'll get Mendoza on here to be our
I ain't going to class, brother.
I'm getting Mendoza. We'll get a Heisman winning Mendoza to be our guest or to talk or be the host of all this stuff because that the man can talk and he's got it all on his.
He's such a pleasure to listen describe the game of football and
He
his
breaks it
team.
down.
He
He
loves
breaks
his
it
team,
down.
man. He loves the squad.
I
It's a
feel like
good
he's
team, man.
watching. I feel like he's watching like Tom Brady do like these play-by-plays. He's like, I'm just gonna do that.
Depending on how things shake out next Monday night, I mean, we might have to talk about Indiana having the greatest coaching hire of all time.
Yeah. Um, I think I saw this earlier. Just to add one more thing. He interviewed Coach Sig interviewed for Cincinnati like 10 years ago and didn't get it. So now the other thing is
Cincinnati's had some good coaches, though,
they've
man.
had a couple good coaches, didn't have a run like could have had. But also Sig might not as much as he's been a winner. I'm not going to guarantee and say he was the coach that he was 10 years ago as he is now.
That and like, let's say he gets hired there, we never get JMU.
Correct. There's all these. It's the ripple effect, and
The ripple effect.
the ripple effect of Saban,
It's
the ripple
like
effect of all these
it's
other
like have
things.
you ever heard the ripple effect from Colin Coward about like how Drew Brees is technically like the most important player of all time because if he did play at Miami,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Saban might have never left,
Yep.
which means he would have never gone to Bama, which means that didn't ever happen,
Happen.
which means college football may be very different today
Absolutely. Yeah, because it would have been like,
because
a
people
different
change to keep up.
a different team would have won versus a team won several years in a row.
Right,
Absolutely.
right,
Completely change it.
right. So insane when you do that butterfly effect, but no, look, we could talk about this all day. There'll be plenty more to come. Uh, we don't know how often we're going to do this. It's probably more frequent than we realize, but
That's what
that's
I'm hop-
great.
I'm hoping that's the case.
So, all right.
We'll catch you next time.